In the final moments of 1999, the world held its breath, fearing a technological catastrophe known as the Y2K bug. The Y2K bug, also known as the millennium bug, was a potential computer glitch that threatened to throw the world into chaos as we approached the dawn of the 21st century. The root of this problem was quite simple. To save memory space, the early programmers coded dates using just the last 2 digits of the year, leaving out the 19 inches in 1999. This posed a significant problem as the year 2000 approached. Computers might interpret 00 not as 2000 but as 1900, leading to a plethora of potential issues, from incorrect data processing to total system crashes. The bug was discovered in the late 1960s by Bob Beamer, a software engineer. However, it wasn't until the 1990s that the gravity of the situation began to sink in. As the new millennium drew closer, the realization hit that countless systems from banking to healthcare to infrastructure could be affected. This realization sparked a wave of fear and panic across the globe. People were worried about their savings disappearing, airplanes falling out of the sky, power grids failing, and a whole host of other technological disasters. Governments and companies worldwide spent an estimated $300 billion to fix the problem. This was not just a tech issue, it was a societal issue. The Y2K bug had the potential to disrupt economies, governments, and everyday life. As the media perpetuated these fears, survivalists prepared for an apocalypse, stockpiling food, water, and supplies. The anxiety was palpable. It felt like we were on the brink of a new era, one that could either bring unprecedented technological progress or catastrophic failure. As the countdown to the year 2000 began, the world braced for the worst. No one knew exactly what the dawn of the new millennium would bring, but everyone was on edge, waiting to see if our technological innovations would lead to our downfall, or if we would rise above the Y2K bug and step confidently into the future. As the year 2000 loomed, the fear of Y2K escalated, with predictions of planes falling from the sky and global systems coming to a grinding halt. The turn of the millennium was greeted with a wave of technological anxiety known as the Y2K scare. The fear was rooted in the way computers were programmed. To save memory space, older systems used 2 digits to represent the year, meaning 1999 was coded as 99. But as the clock would strike midnight on January 1st, 9090 would roll over to 00. This led to a widespread concern that computers would misinterpret the 00 as 1900, causing a cascade of errors in systems that controlled everything from banking to air traffic. The predictions made were nothing short of apocalyptic. Conspiracy theorists foresaw a complete collapse of civilization. They predicted power grids would fail, planes would fall from the sky, banking systems would crash, leading to an economic meltdown, and even nuclear missiles could accidentally launch. This fear wasn't completely unfounded. A few minor glitches had already provided a glimpse into potential problems. For example, in 1999, a man received a notice claiming he was 100 years overdue for a book, because the system thought it was already the year 2000. While this was harmless, it did provide a concrete example of the potential chaos. The media played a significant role in amplifying these fears. News outlets covered the Y2K scare extensively, with some even providing countdowns to the doomsday. This coverage stoked public fear and uncertainty, leading to a Y2K prep industry, complete with survival guides and Y2K compliant products. Meanwhile, governments and businesses worldwide took the threat seriously, spending billions to update their systems and prepare for the worst. In the United States alone, an estimated $300 billion was spent on Y2K readiness. This period of time was marked by widespread panic, extensive preparations, and a pervasive uncertainty about what the new millennium would bring. And then, as the world ushered in the new millennium, the moment of truth arrived. When the clock struck midnight, the world held its breath and waited for the fallout of the Y2K bug. The transition from December 31st, 1999 to January 1st, 2000 was met with bated breath. As the seconds ticked away, billions of eyes were glued to their televisions expecting the worst. Would planes drop from the sky? Would all the power grids collapse? Would the world as we know it come to a screeching halt? But as the clock struck 12, the anticipated chaos did not ensue. Instead, a collective sigh of relief echoed across the globe as major catastrophes failed to materialize. The disastrous predictions of the Y2K bug causing a worldwide blackout, crashing financial systems and plunging us into a new dark age were largely unfounded. That's not to say there were no glitches at all. There were indeed a few minor hiccups, but they were far from the predicted doom. For instance, in Australia, about 100 bus ticket validation machines stopped working. In the United States, a handful of weather stations sent out incorrect data. But these were quickly identified and resolved with little to no impact on the daily lives of people. The world's computer systems, for the most part, hummed along as if nothing had happened. The digital apocalypse that many had feared turned out to be more of a digital hiccup. The widespread panic and fear that had gripped the globe was replaced with a sense of relief and even a touch of embarrassment at the overreaction. As the first day of the new millennium unfolded, it was business as usual. Banks opened, planes flew, traffic lights worked, and computers booted up without any major issues. The Y2K bug, which had been billed as a potential civilization ender, was largely a no-show. In the end, the Y2K bug was more of a phantom menace than a real threat. It was a bug that had the world on edge, but when push came to shove, it was a bug that was squashed with little fanfare. As the sun rose on the first day of the new millennium, it became clear that the feared Y2K catastrophe was a no-show. In the aftermath of the anticlimactic Y2K event, people began to question, was it all a hoax, or did we dodge a bullet? The year 2000 came and went, leaving behind a trail of confusion and a lingering question. Were the billions of dollars and countless hours spent to prevent the Y2K bug a wasted endeavor or a necessary precaution? The debate was, and still is, heated, with some arguing that the threat was overblown, while others maintain that the extensive preparations were what saved us from potential chaos. The Y2K bug, also known as the millennium bug, was a predicted computer flaw expected to cause widespread malfunction as the calendars rolled over from 1999 to 2000. The fear was that computers would misinterpret the two-digit year 00 as 1900 instead of 2000, leading to errors in everything from banking systems to power grids. In response, a global effort was undertaken to rectify the problem. Millions of lines of computer code were reviewed and corrected, and contingency plans were put in place. As the clock struck midnight on December 31, 1999, the world held its breath. And then, nothing. There was no widespread chaos, no major system failures. In the aftermath, some labeled the Y2K scare as a hoax, a fear tactic used by tech companies to rake in profits. However, many in the tech industry argue that it was the extensive preparation and proactive measures that prevented a potential disaster. Regardless of the debate, the Y2K event had a profound impact on the tech industry. It highlighted the importance of forward thinking in software design, and the necessity of considering long-term implications. It also served as a wake-up call to the potential vulnerabilities in our ever-increasing reliance on technology. Moreover, it set a precedent for how the world responds to potential tech crises. The global cooperation and preventative measures taken in response to Y2K have been used as a model for addressing subsequent tech threats. In the end, Y2K served as a stark reminder of our ever-growing dependence on technology and the potential perils that come with it. So, what can we take away from the Y2K phenomenon? Well, it all began with a seemingly harmless shortcut in computer programming, where dates were represented by the last two digits of the year. As the year 2000 approached, this led to a global panic, with fears of widespread system failures. The world braced itself for the stroke of midnight, for the moment of truth. But when the new millennium dawned, it was anticlimactic. The feared chaos did not materialize, and life went on more or less as usual. The aftermath was a mix of relief, cynicism, and a lot of questions about whether the billions spent on Y2K preparedness were justified. In the end, Y2K serves as a stark reminder of our dependence on technology and the potential pitfalls of not thinking far enough ahead. Whether you view Y2K as a costly overreaction or a narrowly avoided disaster, it's clear that this event left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness, forever linking the dawn of the new millennium with a technological scare of epic proportions.